Okay, look, hey, buffet, everything's all ready. Hey, I'm going to have a big party here. Speaking of party, the sun. Okay, here we go. What's your name?
Chris Austin.
And you are?
I'm the leader of the People's Alliance.
What's that?
We're a new political party. Well, somewhat new. We've been formed for about 4 years, and we're working very hard to change really the system and the structure of government and politics. Too many partisan politics in terms of when MLAs are elected. They always have to toe party lines. They have to go along with what the party leader says. We want to take a different approach. We want to take democracy back to where it should be, where the MLA actually represents the people rather than the people in Fredericton and the party leader.
How come you always hear that from any, don't matter which political party, any person who wants to run for politics, represent the people? Isn't that the normal line of people?
How's it work for Liberal and Conservative governments, though? Look at Stuart Jameson. When Sean Graham tried to sell MB Power, Stuart Jameson came out and said, hold on a minute, I don't agree with this. What happened to him?
Gone.
Gone. Jim Parrott come out with the PCs. He questioned duality in health care.
Gone.
What happened to him? Gone. Over and over and over again, we see Kirk McDonald, and I like Kirk. I respect Kirk a lot.
Mr. ADHD master, who got the speech before thinking.
Yeah, well, he came out with this petition, the largest petition, I might add, in New Brunswick history, to the legislature, and then votes against the petition that he's submitting. Not because maybe Kirk wanted to vote that way, but he knew full well he'd have repercussions from the PC party if he didn't.
So how are you enjoying yourself? How's your health? You had a problem with your...
Yeah, I had a aortic valve, a mechanical valve put in. I've been feeling great. And I got to say, in all honesty, Charles, when I was in St. John, the cardiac care, those guys were amazing. Oh. They were amazing.
Amazing staff, huh?
It really is. If I pushed the button, it was 30 seconds. They were there. And the care was top-notch.
I was in the hospital for 3 days. Last month, and then the first time I was admitted in 30 days, in 30 years, and you know what, I was there because of, I had fainting spell, but anyway, they, beautiful staff.
Oh yes, yeah.
Beautiful staff.
They're amazing, and the procedure went well, it was textbook, and I feel great.
So, turn around, so you got to do, you'll be all right. I listened to your speech this morning, and you were talking about pensions,
yes.
And the rate, well, okay, I'm going to have it on my blog anyway. But the bottom line of your speech was?
Government has got to start leading by example. And I know we hear that all the time. But look, the current government is tackling the civil service pensions. They're now going after teachers, looking into their pensions. And look, I understand there's changes that have to be made. There's a mounting debt. There's an annual deficit that cannot be tackled by Liberal and PC governments. We know there's got to be changes, but what we are saying is that the changes that are made ought to be a go-forward basis. You can't go back to the contracts that were signed years ago and expect there not to be an uproar. I mean, these are agreements that were made, legally binding agreements. So we believe that not only should pensions for the civil service be on a go-forward basis, but MLAs should be restructuring their pension reforms. I mean, why are MLAs receiving these gold-plated pensions even from the changes that were in 2008? I mean, picture this. Back in 2008, while the flood was going on, you've got
April 29th.
You've got Liberal and PC MLA sitting in the legislature.
Electricity went out.
Electricity went out. The cameras were down.
Yeah.
I mean, it was scandalous. Yeah. And they raised themselves this huge gold-plated pensions. Now, when they got caught,
$6 million.
When they got caught, they made some minor changes to that pension. What we are saying is that MLA pensions should go to a 1-to-1 ratio. For every dollar an MLA puts in, the government matches it with $1. That's the way it works in the private sector. The RRSPs are transferable. When they leave office, they carry their RRSPs with them to the next job that they do.
There's nothing better than trying to get elected by the people, talking about an MLA pension. I remember I brought it up for 2 years. I was just chasing after them about the $6 million raise in their pension. Oh, it was disgusting. So money. Now, I look at your news conference, and you had a couple of members of the Anglo Society. So what is your stand on bilingualism? Are you guys bigots? Are you just for not enforcing bilingualism? What is all about? Get it straight right now.
Yeah, we believe in bilingualism in the sense that every person, French or English, should receive service in the language of their choice across New Brunswick. What we don't believe in is this one-size-fits-all approach to get that. For example, in Charlotte County, you've got less than 2% of a Francophone population. Yet, there's a push on to have a 50% bilingual staff in that same region of the province. So the numbers are clearly off. And what happens is you've got qualified people that maybe do not speak French that are applying for jobs that are fully qualified, but they put bilingual mandatory in there and they're disqualified from the job. So you either have positions that are unstaffed, or you've got people in there that are not as qualified as people that have been there for a long time that have the training and the skills.
I was talking to a few of your workers, and I'll say it right here. I said it, like if 40, 50 years ago, we would have had no niggers, no frogs, no fruits, everybody would have been treated equally.
I agree.
We wouldn't be in this mess that we're in now.
But Charles, listen, there's nothing better for government to do than to cause division. Because when you've got people divided going every which way, and you've got this thing that, if you say anything, you're a bigot, well, what it does is it just creates this divide and conquer mentality. And that's why we got such a messed up system today. It's basic common sense. You've got the demographics. And I want to say one more thing. Not only should it work for unilingual Anglophones, I would fight for the same rights of unilingual Francophones in predominantly Francophone regions. If you've got regions of the province that are 60, 70% Francophone, then that unilingual Francophone should have the same opportunity as a unilingual Anglophone in another part of the region.
I can't fight that. What about Shale Gas?
We're the only party that honestly believes in the power of the people. And I know that's cliched, but we do believe shale gas should go to a referendum. Charles LeBlanc should get a vote on whether he wants shale gas to proceed. Kris Austin should get a vote. Every member of the public, citizen of New Brunswick, should have a vote to say yes or no. We've talked about it. We've studied it. The government held consultations all over the province. It's time to either get it done or stop it, because it's causing more polarization in New Brunswick that we don't need.
You have an opinion on the Irving media? You gotta watch yourself, because you need some coverage.
It's tricky.
Because they own all the newspapers.
That's it.
In this province.
Yeah, I mean, the People's Alliance as a party, we've never come with a policy on that or really tackled that issue. Personally, I mean, I think like every other New Brunswicker, we see there's an issue there.
Yeah.
I mean, when you've got, a corporate entity that's owning, the media in terms of print, it gives them a big playing card in their back pocket, and no doubt it's been used over the years. So yeah, I mean, I would agree there has to be some changes there down the road, but as a party, it's not something we've tackled right now. But at the end of March, we're having our AGM in Mactaquac on the 28th and 29th, so who knows, maybe something like that might come up then.
Where are you going to run you?
Myself?
Yeah.
The new riding of Fredericton, Grand Lake.
Who is the MLA there now?
Currently, it's Ross Wetmore.
Ross. Okay.
Yeah. Ross is and I believe with the new boundaries, Pam Lynch will be moving into that area, so I'll probably be running against her.
So how can you spread your message around the province?
Well,
and try to go door to door.
Yeah, door to door is the big thing. There's no question. We know that. We've got a big hill to climb. But what I really find, Charles, is people are genuinely sick and tired of Liberal and Conservative governments.
I think people are sick. I noticed that people are sick and tired of anyone associated with politics. Don't matter if it's People Alliance or the NDP. You say, hey, I'm going to run for it.
But how did we get there, though? And here's the point that I try to make. How did we get here? It's not my fault. It's not the People's Alliance fault. We've never been elected, so we've never been able to prove ourselves. The NDP's never been able to prove themselves. The Greens never been able to prove themselves. It falls squarely on the two-party system. They got us here. Their management has got us as debt. Their management has gotten the polarization of the province in language, in forestry, whether it's the private woodlot owners or big industry. Every issue, shale gas, I mean, it's just polarizing New Brunswick further. And this is a time when we need to come together. And New Brunswick desperately needs a party that is really about the people. It's so cliched that it's become almost a bad word,
my God,
bad phrase.
We need some music in the background. Hallelujah, glory, glory, hallelujah.
But that's the cynicism of it, right? That's the skepticism of party politics and the way it's been done in New Brunswick. But we're really trying to change that.
How come David Howard is so pig-headed on shale gas?
I think because there's no vision. And I don't mean any slight on Mr. Howard. I think he's a good man.
Oh, yeah. You know what? I think he's one of the most honest politicians I ever met.
Yeah.
But he's so pig-headed on this issue.
Because it's all, in his mind, it's all we've got. In his mind. He's just thinking shale gas will be the silver bullet for the economy in New Brunswick. And we know that's not true. Yes, it'll create some jobs and it'll give us a little boost if it moves forward. But it's short-termed. It's not going to be a long-term sustainable thing. We've got forestry.
What do you think was going to happen there, the forestry plan?
I think we need a whole new forestry act. I think we've got to start from the ground up The act is outdated.
It's coming Wednesday, the new one, the
Yeah.
new the new Brunswick forestry plan.
Yeah, yeah.
Do you think that, do you think shale gas, people say it's a native issue? Is it a native issue, the shale gas thing?
I don't think it's any more of a native issue than it is any other, sect of New Brunswick. I think it's a New Brunswicker issue. And that's why we say, take it to a referendum. The natives should get a vote. The French should get a vote. The English should get a vote. We're one New Brunswicker, right?
I found out one thing about these Indians. I interviewed them. They drove me crazy. They think before speaking, better than us.
Is that right?
Yeah, it takes about 5 seconds for them to answer. I said, come on, that's a very good thing. These natives, they're very, very, very smart when it comes to the water issue, the Mother Earth connection and all that. They're very emotional. Some of them will just give those Indians $25,000 each and they'll shut up. That's not true.
Right.
If you had a vote, I mean, they're really, really, really connected to the earth, and this summer is going to scare me. Anything else that I forgot?
Well, again, we just want to get the message out. Our AGM is coming up at the end of March. Excuse me. There's discounted room rates if people are traveling from out of town. We've kind of hit the middle of the road there because, again, we know it's hard economic times for everybody, so we want to make it affordable for people to come. But look, if people want change, you got to vote different. It's not rocket science. You keep voting Liberal or Conservative, you'll keep getting the same thing. It's time to look outside the box.